Well, thank you very much for the opportunity to speak to everyone, and I'll keep it brief as well. As Deepa said, I am the president and COO for WorldQuant. We are a global quantitative financial asset management company. We essentially hire and are very happy to be a hiring partner of QuantInsti. We hire this exact skill set around the world. We have offices in 17 countries now, I believe, 27 offices. And the mandate of the firm is very much to hire people with the skills that you have all just learned around the world, because talent is truly in demand. I think that you are entering and have decided, or hopefully with this education that you've received, have decided to enter this industry, and it is a very exciting one. I think you've made a great decision to pursue this EPAT program with QuantInsti, because it really can let you enter into an exciting new world of trading, quant finance, and actually has the skill set, has tremendous ability to cross into other industries as well, and we'll talk about a little bit of that later. I'm always excited to talk to students such as yourselves, because this is really the lifeblood of what WorldQuant is. And if we look at our firm, I think the median age of our research staff, all of which are outside the US, barring a couple, I think is 26 or 27. So we are very much big supporters of education in this field, because with these skills and the quantitative talent, the sky, I think, really is the limit going forward, given the growth of the industry in general. So I'll switch now and talk about three things. One, let's talk a little bit about the growth of quantitative finance, specifically to trading firms and also in general, and then how that translates into the demand for talent, such as yourselves with these skills that you've learned in the EPAT program, and then where we see growth coming forward and opportunities in this general field. So starting with quantitative finance, how the industry has changed a bit over time and the growth that's coming. I don't think it's a secret that quantitative finance, the trading firms, is growing rapidly. It's becoming more and more important in the financial markets. I think it's been doing that for quite a long time. The press recently, at least the Western press, has very much picked up on this more. So you'll see it in the press a lot more. I can assure you that the growth has been happening far longer than the press has been interested in it as a sort of issue or interesting story of the day. I think that it used to be that this area was really the domain of a few very highly successful quantitative funds. You've heard some of the names: Renaissance, D.E. Shaw, ourselves, WorldQuant, etc. But that is now probably the right way to say democratizing that. Many other startups and even the traditional asset managers, the Blackstones of the world, the BlackRocks of the world, and the traditional, what we would call fundamental research trading firms and investment firms, are all adding, the smart ones at least, are all adding a layer of quantitative analysis to their investment process, even if it's fundamentally driven. So the field is expanding dramatically, well outside the few firms that would do this only as their primary business. I would say that any trading firm, equity trading firm or futures trading firm, if they haven't added to their fundamental investment picking, fundamental analysis capabilities, a quantitative overlay, a data overlay, they will have a very hard time competing, if not now, definitely in the near future. So the growth in quantitative finance is coming from all sides, not just the typical quantitative players. I think that you can look at even some stats from the Financial Times. Morgan Stanley recently estimated that quantitative strategies of all forms are growing at a clip of 15% a year. If you think about the compounding of that, it really is changing the face of investing as we know it. So let's turn then next into how does that translate into demand for these quantitative skills that you all have just learned taking the EPAT course? It really is from all sides. The typical firms such as ourselves continue to hire. We continue to hire people in our offices around the world. The most recent ones we've opened were in Romania, Bulgaria, and we just recently opened one in Mexico City and starting to hire there, always looking for talent around the world. Plus, obviously, we have, I think many of you have known, our virtual research center effort, where we are able to have people contribute their quantitative skills as consultants while still part-time anywhere in the world on a virtual basis. Many other firms are doing similar things that are in the quant finance space. Also, the banks, all the trading firms, tremendous need for quantitative skills. So it's not limited to just the firms that trade to benefit investors from a sort of fund perspective, but from all the banks around the world on their market making desks, on their derivatives desks. These skills are very heavily in demand. I think that if you look at the foundational skills that you've learned, 75% of them, in my view, looking at the curriculum and also what we value in our quantitative researchers and quantitative developers, it makes you a data scientist before it makes you a quantitative expert. Those foundational skills are valuable across the board, even outside of the financial trading world. So by taking this course and investing your time and efforts, you have really built a skill set for yourself that's broadly applicable, as well as specifically applicable to the quantitative trading business. So I'll close with looking at this opportunity set for yourselves. There are opportunities in the funds, in the banks, and let me tell you an interesting story. We have a relationship as WorldQuant with Weill Cornell Medical Center. It's the medical center associated with Cornell University. We have two of their very senior researchers who are doing genetic research to help cure cancer. They've been taken in part in the twin study with two twins, one who was on the space station for a year and the other identical twin who stayed on Earth, to look at how their genetics change and what that can mean for space travel. They also do studies and research for antibiotic resistance predictions around the world. We have had a recent swapping of our researchers with their researchers, going for 6 months to either organization to try their skills out on a completely different domain. So our quantitative researchers go and spend time at the cancer research labs at Cornell, and they have some of their students come and spend internship summers with us. And what we have found, probably to no surprise, is that the skills translate, and quantitative researchers wind up contributing significantly to the cancer research, and the cancer researchers who are really doing big data and data science work there wind up being able to contribute very well to the quantitative efforts that we have in our research area. So these skills are highly valuable even outside of the world of quantitative finance. I think that the sky really is the limit, and every firm is looking for these skills from a data science perspective, even the traditional firms, the industrial firms out there, which makes it somewhat hard for us to recruit the best out there. Hence, we're very happy to be a partner with QuantInsti, but it does give you all, I think, who have completed this, a tremendous opportunity with a tremendous growing demand, and that demand will just grow going forward. I think you should all be very proud of yourselves for investing the time and effort, and I wish you all the very best luck in exercising these new skills and taking your careers forward now that you have them. Thank you very much.